What up? Tristan, how we doing?
I'm doing good.
Listen, you're in your natural element, weight room.
Yep.
I dig it. That was a pretty solid get. I haven't been in a weight room like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Is this like your happy place, the weight room? Getting
sure.
after it. Tell me about football camp. How long was it?
4 days. Had 4 days, so.
How many practices a day is it?
4 days.
Four a day?
Yeah.
You sleep a lot at football camp?
Not really.
Not really?
The most I think I slept was like 30 minutes.
What? At a time? At night?
No, at night we got sleep.
Okay. Listen, I could just talk football with you, but I feel like we might as well talk about something else.
Yeah.
Give me like Tristan right now. If you were to explain to everybody watching, what's it like in the life of Tristan on a day-to-day basis? What are you up to?
Wake up, probably like 5 in the morning, football. Then I get home, be chilling, and then talk with my buddies, the guys that are in my life that are fun, genuine.
Yeah.
Then I try to get some time in the Word and just have a good life.
I know what you're like now. We've got to hang out a little bit. I've talked to your student pastor, Zach. We got the scope. I think in order to appreciate Tristan today, it would be worth knowing Tristan a couple years ago. Can you kind of walk me through where you were at in 2020?
I was really mentally not there, spiritually either. I was just out of it completely. Didn't want to do anything with God. The biggest reason why I had that was probably because I lost my mom to COVID. And it was just like, wow, like I lost other family members kind of in the same situation where they went into the hospital, got put into an induced coma, and then they never came out of it. So I was kind of like bitter. I was like, okay, you did this to my mom now, the only real person that I actually cared about. So it was like, I didn't want nothing to do with God after that, because I was like, who's gonna take the one person that you, like, out of everyone in the world, you're gonna truly love?
Oh, dude, so I would imagine, obviously hard. How did that work itself out in the way that you treated others, the way that you represented yourself the next year or so?
I was angry at everyone in the world. I was angry at myself because I felt like I couldn't do anything. Like I felt like I didn't do enough to help my mom out. So I was just angry at myself. I was angry at everyone. I took it out a lot on the football field. Like I'd just be rude. I'd be headbutting people, like just being completely dirty, not even traditional, good, clean football.
Yeah. Did it bear itself out in your attitude and the way that you held yourself? Did that ever show up and did that ever have consequences for you?
Yeah, it did, because the way I was holding myself, it seemed like, okay, you can do these bad things, you want to do the wrong things, and it ends up me getting in trouble in school, ending up getting suspended, and it's just, I was like, dude, what did I do to get to this point?
For you, in that season, would you describe that season as the bottom?
Yeah, definitely.
When did it start to shift? What were some things that started happening in your life that were just like, hey, Tristan, I can't do this anymore. This is not working.
Yeah. During that time when I got suspended, my nana was like, hey, you should try out prayer. Like, and then eventually going into the beginning of my junior year and that summer, sophomore summer, me and my brother are talking. We're like, we kind of want to start going back to church. And my mom was Catholic, so I was like, you know what? I still want to go to a Catholic church, because I was like, that was the only way I could have a connection with my mom, was going to a Catholic church. And then we went to going back and forth from there to CCV. And it's just eventually, I was like, okay, Catholic church isn't really doing it for me. So I was like, let's just go full-time CCV.
And so when was this? This was what year in school were you?
It was my sophomore summer.
Going in your sophomore summer, and then you started attending what campus?
East Valley.
East Valley campus. All right, so you started going to CCV, you started getting connected.
Yeah.
And when would you say that connection turned into like hey, I think my life could be different? Was there a moment that happened?
Definitely at camp last year. That year was, first day didn't really want to be there. And then when you did the story about the prodigal son, it really resonated with me, because I was like, that's exactly what I did. And just hearing that I can just come back to God and He'll be there with open arms. I was like, that was cool.
So there was a door. Did you walk through the door?
Yeah, it was a special moment. Me and my brother got to walk together through the door. Not only did I feel God go through me, but I did feel that connection of my mom being there with, like being with me and my brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is last year's camp. You get back from camp and instantly your life is perfect?
No, it was, family still was going through it, and then school started back up. I got to block that all out because I know what I saw and what I felt was real. And I just kept being more consistent, showing up more. And eventually it was like, I was in.
All right, hey Tristan, here's what I need. What's the cadence? What's the Mesa cadence? I'm gonna work on my quarterback skills.
All right. Oh, you trying to be a pretty boy?
Yeah, just for right now.
Just for now. We go, ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go. And when are you snapping it on the T of set?
About
the T of set? Okay,
in between the T and the G.
Let's get a little pass slide, kick slide to the right on this one.
Right.
Here we go. All right. Ready, set, go. Oh, that was nice, dude. There's something about a good snap set combo that gets me fired up. So you said that you started an FCA, and that's kind of crazy because there's nothing at your school.
Nothing at all.
What did you specifically have to do to start getting an FCA rolling at your school?
So I went up to my coach, lineman coach. I was like, hey coach, I'm trying to start this FCA up. I don't know what to do. They said that I need a sponsor as a teacher. So I was like, hey, do you want to do it? He goes, oh, I've been on the paperwork already. Like,
he's already on it?
Yeah, he was already on it. I was like,
guys doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
At Mesa, it's already happening. Hey, so you get FCA rolling. What was the response from the dudes on your team? Were they excited for you to run FCA? Was it different? What were their little...
Some were excited. Some were like, why are you doing it? Like, you'd never seen like a type of person to do God stuff and be religious.
I think the reality is you had to convince them over time that it wasn't just like a flash in the pan. It's just like I'm trying to convince everybody I still have what it takes to snap a football. I'm feeling fired up right now. So these dudes, they start coming. They're initially concerned about, hey, is this just a thing you're doing? What do you think won them over time?
My attitude and how I held myself and how I treated others. I was like making changes and I was being more positive and actually working and helping others. Like, okay, so you're legit about it.
I think that's so cool because it shows that it's not, I mean, obviously we'd love to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Your life could be instantly changed, but people need to like see that happen over time. It makes sense that people are like, I know the old Tristan though.
Yeah.
I know the old Tristan, and I love how you shared stories of just over time being present in the lives of dudes. It sounds like some of those guys actually opened up to allow you to talk to them about Jesus. What was that like? Let me see if I still get one more in here.
They're really like, they allowed me to come in because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know who to go to really. And they're like, maybe I can give God a chance.
Do you feel like the reason you were able to be Jesus to your buddies was because of the things you were saying or because of the way that your life was different?
The way that my life was different, because my words aren't my words, they're God's words. But the way my life changed was like, if I could go from my darkest point in life, looking like I might end up in jail or just doing wrong things, to now being able to be in the fire department, having goals and trying to help people, is crazy to me. It's like...
And people notice it, they see it, they see that you're different, which is what we're hoping for. That's what being a Christ-centered difference maker is. I'm Christ-centered and I'm making a difference, and because you look at people and you care for them, that's super awesome. Let's get a little, let's just get a straight like ISO block, straight forward, inside run.
All right, so our base block, all right.
Base block, there we go. See, we still got it. Ready, so go. Oh, listen, Tristan. Get me fired up in here. Get me fired up in here. If you were a student at a school that didn't have an FCA or some type of club that allowed you to like meet and talk about Jesus during the week, would you make an effort to start one? Is it worth it?
It's worth it. Like our school's energy changed so much once we got that FCA started. So it kind of like that week in between, I feel like people are like, they got hungry for it and they're like, when's the next meeting? And I was like,
it's just cool. It's cool to see someone like you put action put action to your conviction.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm inspired to be like Jesus, but it's one thing to say that and to think that when you're at your house or when you're at camp, but to come home and actually put action into that at your school. I'll just tell you, like, get on your soapbox for a second. Like, hey, if you're watching this, if you're a student, if you're a high schooler, and Jesus is like something that you like the concept of, but you're kind of afraid to like go all in, what would Tristan say to him?
I say, don't be afraid. Yeah, it's a little bit scary not knowing like what God is, and because you'll end up regretting it if you don't, because you lose the connection and then you got to rebuild that connection. And it's just a lot of like, for me, when I didn't have God, I regret that time because I could have been doing a lot better things. I would have made my mistakes I made. But yet also, you can't look at those mistakes that you've made as a bad thing, but as a learning point.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thanks for letting me just snap with you. It really brought back some fun memories for me. Appreciate you, dude. Hey, kill it this year. Mesa football.
Yes,
we'll
sir.
cheer them on. Get some dubs.
Yes, sir.
See you, dude.